It's brunch with Brian today. Yes. Yes, I know I'm a little late. Sorry, gang. Hopefully you'll pop on here momentarily. Guess what it is today? You know, I always do that check a day and I see what national day or world day it is today. And it opens up sometimes topics for discussion or ideas. You know, you can always ask me any questions about real estate. Okay. I love real estate. I love doing real estate. Any questions that you have about your current deals, that you have about your current systems, that you have about anything with real estate, you can always ask me. You can go on, and that's why I always do the comments. I didn't used to do that, but now I always go through the comments. So anything, any questions you have, I'm here for you. This is, you might as well consider these Ask Brian sessions in addition to whatever important and helpful material we cover. So today we're going to cover the fact that it's actually post-traumatic stress day. What is it again? Let me look at that again. It's actually called National Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Day. Okay, National Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. So I have been thinking about this. I think every one of us actually suffers from post-traumatic stress. If you want my opinion, I think we all have things that we hang on to, that we think about from the past that we aren't over. And anytime you think about something in your past that makes you feel a little bad, that's post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic stress disorder is something where you're really dealing with major post-traumatic stress. But do we all have post-traumatic stress? Yes. What is a trauma? A trauma is anything that happens to you that makes you think about it or changes any one of your behaviors or changes your thinking moving forward. So if something happens to you and a month later you think about it, that's post-traumatic stress. That's some kind of stressful, unless it's a positive memory. Now, if it's a helpful, uplifting, upbeat memory, that's not post-traumatic stress. That's, positive programming. Okay, that's using your memory matrix in a positive way. But if you think about something that happened in the past, or a feeling overcomes you and you kind of relate that to something that happened in the past, that's post-traumatic stress. So I have actually been thinking about this lately. I've been working on psych ups, as you know, and so I have a special post-traumatic stress disorder, one that I've been working on, and I'm going to go over that. So if you are dealing with post-traumatic stress, here's some thoughts on that. Now, when someone's done you wrong in the past, and you still feel pain over it, you're suffering post-traumatic stress. It can be mild or severe, and it can seriously affect your ability to feel safe and happy. Sometimes it doesn't affect your ability that much, but it's just annoying and you don't want to deal with it. So you have only two options for moving forward. You forgive the offender, you forgive the wrongdoer who did you wrong, or you don't forgive them. Okay, that's only the only two things. Now, sometimes we have post-traumatic stress because of something we did. Well, guess what? Sometimes you're the wrongdoer. So sometimes you have to forgive yourself to move on. You have to accept and move and forgive. Okay, so I'm going to get into that. By not forgiving another person who did you wrong, what are you doing? You're hanging on to the pain and continuing to suffer needlessly. Okay, so you're actually allowing that person to continue hurting you. That doesn't make any sense, does it? No, it's an ongoing emotional entanglement, and it's a pending vendetta. A lot of times you're going to get that person back. Guys, that it just entangles you in negative emotions. It doesn't matter if the wrongdoer is sorry or not. It doesn't matter if they're even dead or alive. You can still have post-traumatic stress. I will admit that I have post-traumatic stress from my childhood. My dad is long dead. He's the wrongdoer in the situation. He did me wrong. He did not treat me fairly as a child. But that's how it is. Hey, you got to accept and forgive and move on. And so but guys, sometimes even when people are dead and gone, you still cling to some kind of negative emotions when you think about them. So that's post-traumatic stress that you want to let go of. Your forgiveness, think about it this way. Your forgiveness doesn't let them off the hook. Sometimes you think, well, I'm letting them off the hook and they did all this wrong stuff to me. Well, your forgiveness doesn't let them off the hook because they're not getting away with anything. Everyone pays an emotional and spiritual price when they hurt another person. It leaves an unavoidable imprint on their soul. You don't want it to leave an indelible imprint on your soul. That's the idea. So you forgive and let go. That's the only approach. So grudges are cages. Think about it that way. If you hold a grudge, that's a cage. Grudges are cages. True forgiveness has the power to break away the bars and deliver you from captivity. That's pretty dramatic. Forgiveness is an immense force. Forgiveness, the power of forgiveness is an immense force with the power to change lives. Forgiveness blesses you with the sweet taste of freedom because you're letting go of that grudge and breaking out of that cage. Okay, so that is some thinking. What is that, guys? That's role control programming, what I just said. That's what your mind should be thinking instead of clinging to these grudges. And when you think about it that way, okay, I see now. I'm hurting myself. I'm letting that person hurt me every day that I keep thinking about this. So the only way, and just when you forgive them, realize, hey, you're not letting them off the hook. That's what always troubled me, was like, well, if I forgive them, that means they got away with it. No, they didn't get away with it. They know what they did. Okay. And they, even if they deny it and even if they won't apologize, they know what they did and they will pay a price for that, emotionally and spiritually. You letting them off, you're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. Wow, I should put that in there. You're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. So, guys, let's get past post-traumatic stress. We all got it. If you're a human, you got it. Okay, now you may not have post-traumatic stress disorder, which is, you know, a whole condition that messes up your life and makes it harder to live. You may be a very high-functioning post-traumatic stress dealer, you know, dealing with it, and we all have it. So most of you guys deal with it really well. But anytime you think of anything from the past that causes you pain, that's post-traumatic stress. Let's get rid of it by forgiving the person, accepting that the situation happened. Okay, this happened. I had a rough childhood. Okay, big whoop. A lot of people have that. Okay, accept it, forgive the wrongdoer, and move on. And that will free you. Free your mind. Yes, talk about freeing your mind. Tony, good morning. What are your thoughts on setting up a 24-hour info line? Okay, that's a good question. I don't like it. I really, you know, some people do call 24 hours. See, the one thing I like about it is you can put in the ads, call 24 hours. I find that if you put call or text in the ad, that's just as good. These 24-hour lines, you know, they call a recorded line. You think, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll get more calls off my direct mail or something if it says on the letter, call 24-hour, you know, response line. I want to talk to these people. You know, if they want a safe way to reach out back to you, let them text. Make sure you're putting, hey, you can call me or you can text me anytime and I'll get back with you. That's kind of a safer move for them. You're thinking about if they're calling a recorded line where they don't have to worry about talking to someone, you think it's safer in their mind. A text accomplishes the same thing. They're reaching out without having to talk to anybody. So I would push texting above having some recorded line. You never get a live pickup if you have a recorded line. You're always chasing people. You're always trying to call back. And that's annoying, always trying to call back. You want to pick up if they're calling and they're hot, you call them back, you don't know what mood they're in. You know, if they call and you can get them right then and actually pick up the phone, like during regular hours, that's a huge plus because they're hot now. They're calling now. They're motivated now. Who knows when you call them back, you know, tomorrow, if they're going to be in the same mindset. They might have called 10 other people when they called you. So I'm not crazy about that. You know, maybe you could say, call us live at this number or call and leave a recorded message. Maybe you could give them an option, but I don't really, I'm not crazy about that strategy. Hey, Brian, first round of debates, got my popcorn ready. It's crazy. I don't talk about politics, guys. It's too divisive. You know, let's keep our focus. I want people to be together. That's the whole thing. And it's just sad what's happened in the country over the last, I don't know, 10 years, that we've grown more divided. You want to grow more together. You want to love each other. Guys, we're so much more alike than we are different. And if there's one little thing or some political thing that divides us, it's sad. I mean, we got to think, hey, I'm a lot more like you than I am different than you, even if I look very different than you. We all want the same things. We all desire love and friendship, and we all have our fears. We all afraid of looking dumb or, making mistakes. So we all are the same. And so let's not think about our differences. Let's think about how we're all the same. We all want to be good family members and helpful. Noel and Kathy, hello guys. Always like to see you guys. Thank you, Professor. Memo: in Texas, instead of sandwich lease, would you recommend sub 2 and offer seller financing to buyer with a wrap to distressed seller? Yes. Guys, Texas, memos in Texas, if you're in Texas, yes, lease purchases are prohibitive because they came out with some rules, some laws. Now, these are statutes. Statutes is state laws. That's why statute is the root word state. So a statute is a state law that doesn't apply in other states. And Texas has got a little wacky. They went wacky on two things now. They started this thing where if you're buying in Texas and you're from another state, they want you to fill out this foreign, like you're a foreigner, like you're from another country. It's like a foreign alien registration form, which I hate because why? No anonymity. You're giving away everything on that form. So I'm not crazy about that, but sometimes you got to deal with what you got to deal with. The other thing about Texas is this lease purchase thing. They came up with some rules. You can still legally do a lease purchase in Texas. However, it's very dangerous to do it because if that lease purchase tenant buyer decides that you wronged them in any way, they can bring you to court and there's massive remedies. They can actually get all the money back they ever paid you, including the non-refundable option deposit and all the rent. I mean, they could live in there for 5 years and you'd have to give them back all their rent money and their non-refundable option deposit if it goes wrong. So that's just Texas. Don't worry about the lease purchase exit strategy. That is our favorite exit strategy in other states. In Texas, generally, you're going to buy with seller financing or sub 2 and sell on seller financing, which means you need to create a new note and a mortgage. Anytime you buy with a wrap or you buy with seller financing on a free and clear house, you need your attorney or your title company to create a new note, which has all the terms in it, and a new mortgage, which ties the note to the house and allows those people to foreclose. Okay, good question there. Good question about Texas. 70 times 7. 70 times 7. Okay. Grudges are cages. Yes, you got to let go of those grudges. I've had grudges, guys. I am a kind of a person who is emotional. I mean, I try to be intellectual and I try to be like Spock, but I'm a very emotional person, very passionate. And I've had grudges against people, but you're hurting yourself. They don't even know you feel that grudge. They don't care that you feel a grudge towards them. You're suffering yourself. You're inflicting unnecessary suffering on yourself. So guys, that's why you break out of grudges. Pat Live is a answering service. Yes, that's a good suggestion, Charles. Sometimes if you're not picking up live and you want to be able to pick up live 24 hours, you can use an answering service. So Pat Live is one answering service that a lot of people like. There's other ones. I have a specific script. If you're using a answering service, I'd love it if they could use our FSBO script. And, now some services are less flexible on that. They have their own scripts and they kind of want to stick with them. But most services are fairly flexible. So if you are using a answering service, which is that 24-hour calling, so that's a good point, Charles. Now, you don't, you could put in your ad calls picked up 24 hours. But actually, that's kind of what that recorded line is trying to accomplish is they just don't want to talk to somebody live right now, or they don't want to be sold. They want to like contact you without, committing. So that's why that text option is good. But, if you say Pat Live obviously is good because they pick up 24 hours, they pick up all the time, or, other answering services. So that's always a good idea. You know, I don't want people calling and getting an answering machine or your voicemail. That's no good. Answering machine. Oh my gosh, my old. Hooked on phonics. Good to see you, Mike. Brian's real estate assistance team help. Brain system. Look at this. Oh, I love acronyms. You know I love acronyms. So yes, Mike's giving us another great acronym. Real estate assistance team help. Breath system. Yes, that is awesome. Okay, guys, I believe we all need breath. We all need deep breathing. So I'm going to do that in a second. What's our affirmation for today? What's a good affirmation for today? We had some good real estate questions there, but our main topic was let's say I let go of grudges. Yes, that's our main topic for today. So I let go of any grudges. I let go of any grudges. Doesn't that just make you feel more free just saying that? Okay, so now I do have a 7-step forgiveness ritual where you write it out on a piece of paper. You write out what they did or what you did. You got to forgive yourself sometimes. Sometimes you did things wrong and you have post-traumatic stress over something you did wrong. So write it out on a piece of paper. I'm just going to break it down. I'm not going to go through the whole 7 steps. Here's what you do. You write it on a piece of paper. Be thorough because you're not going to think about it anymore. You're not dwelling on this anymore. So you write it out and then you write out a good habit that you can adopt to replace that time you used to waste on that grudge. Okay, you crumple up this piece of paper, you put it on a dinner plate, and you light it on fire. And as the smoke goes up, you do an affirmation. I accept this, I forgive this, I release this, I'm at peace. And as you see the smoke going up, you imagine your pain going off to heaven, okay, and leaving you. Okay, it's an emotional ritual. Guys, we mark important moments in our life and changes in our roles. Like when we get married, we were single, now we're married. We mark those big changes in our life and in our roles with ritual, sometimes public ritual, like a big wedding. Okay, so guess what? You're changing your life. You're not going to be a grudge holder anymore. So you're changing roles. Let's make a ritual. You're not going to hold on to that anymore. Make a ritual out of it. And then once you burn up the ashes, I want you to flush the ashes down the toilet. Okay. And as you watch them disappear, you take a big, deep breath of relief. Like, wow, I'm letting this go. It's a little bit more involved than that. Basically, that's the forgiveness ritual. It helps you get over stuff. The ritual does, as rituals will do. Rituals help you make transitions in your life. That's why we publicly mark transitions in our life, even funerals. Guys, you're not a son or a daughter anymore when your mom or dad dies. Now you are transitioning into a new part of life. You're an orphan now. Okay, so we mark that with a funeral. Fred, will you be doing an online Real to Riches event? Yes, I will be doing events, guys. I love doing, we have an event coming up. I will talk about Real to Riches. Actually, let me talk about realtors tomorrow, maybe. Because I have a really awesome realtor program and I do want you guys to be working with realtors. Okay, so our affirmation today, are we breaking out of our grudges? Yes, I break free of any grudges. Okay, 3 times on 3. I break free of any grudges. 1, 2, 3. I break free of any grudges. I break free of any grudges. I break free of any grudges. Yes, I'm free. Now we do our deep breathing and feel extra free. Nice deep breath in. Big smile. Oh, that feels good. Let it go. Another deep breath in. Big smile. Oh, hold it a little bit. Relax your shoulders and your neck when you exhale. And one more. Deep. Extra good. All right. Let it go. Good job, guys. A little bit long today, started a little bit late, but what great participation, great questions. You can always ask me anything, guys. That's why I'm here. So I will be talking to you tomorrow at the same Wolf time, same Wolf channel. Till then, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf couple, and taking action.